Hello, welcome to my hobby. Today, I'm going to be talking about Marvel's Annotated. This is an $8 comic, which is fine because I think it's worth it. I think this is a darn fine product right here. Look at that nice cover. Look at Galactus taking over the planet. So, for those of you who don't know, Marvel's was a comic, I believe, that came out in the mid-2000s. And what it is it's sort of a retelling of Marvel history in 4 issues, but it's all told from the point of view of a reporter. And so far, in the first issue, you saw the rise of the Human Torch, the original Human Torch, Captain America, and Namor, their battles together. And then in the second issue, you saw, what was it? It was the rise of the X-Men and like Fantastic Four. It does time jumps. I'm not sure what year this is. What do they got on they got newspapers here, but I don't see any dates. Now this comic is really good. It's, like I said, it's from the point of view of a regular person, and I really like it because the point of view of a person outside of all this superhero stuff is something that I'm always interested in. Because, I mean, what happens outside of this? I mean, when you have Galactus, you know, coming to take over the world, how does the world react? And in this, you get to see it. You know, people think it's the end of the world. You know, cars are abandoned in the streets. And it's fairly interesting. And because it's all from that guy's perspective, he's a reporter. In the first issue, he's working for the Daily Globe, and then in this issue, he's working for the Daily Bugle. And J. Jonah Jameson, of course, shows up in the first issue. Pardon me, that was a burp. But they don't say that it's J. Jonah Jameson. They just kind of imply that it's J. Jonah Jameson. And the art, of course, is all Alex Ross, and it's all fantastic. I love that his work looks like a Rockefeller painting. For the time period that they're writing in, it fits. It really fits. But he draws J. Jonah Jameson young, and he like puts a small like shadow under his lip for like the mustache, even though he doesn't have the mustache in the first issue. In this one, he does. He's getting older. They're all getting older, but because it's from an outside perspective, you get to kind of see characters in from, well, a different point of view, which is the point. But my favorite one is that Peter Parker shows up and gives J. Jonah Jameson some photos, and he's like, this makes Spider-Man look really bad. You'll love him. And the main character in this is like pissed off at him. He's like, oh, Jesus, Spider-Man should clobber him. And I swear to God, that's Don Knotts right there. That's got to be Don Knotts. As far as the story goes, I like it a lot. It's the story of Galactus showing up and the Fantastic Four saving them. Right now, at the beginning of the book, the public is starting to kind of turn on superheroes. They're starting to dislike them. In the first issue, they didn't really know how to take them. But, you know, there's Captain America and the Human Torch. They fight Namor, so they kind of like him. And in the second book, they like the superheroes. You know, it's amazing that they're there. You know, the public is fascinated, but the X-Men show up, and people are afraid of them because they're all mutants. And what's cool is you get to see this average Joe and his reaction. In the beginning, in the first book, he doesn't like the superheroes at all. He feels wrong. He calls off a marriage because he doesn't feel, I don't know what you would say. I don't want to say he doesn't feel like a man, but like he doesn't know what to make of them. He doesn't feel right about it. But eventually warms up to them as he sees what Captain America does and what the Human Torch do fighting Namor. And then in the second book, the mutants show up, the X-Men show up, and everyone hates them. They're very bigoted against the X-Men. And he himself does not like the mutants. At one point, he even hurls a rock at one of them. But what ends up happening is that his daughters, are actually hiding a mutant girl in their basement whose like family had abandoned her. And he, you know, changes his point of view because it's a little girl hiding in his basement. And after that, he like takes the child to Xavier's mansion and everything. But in this one, he's very much for the superheroes, but everyone else is against them. In this instance, you have half-naked Savage captured on British coast, Daredevil accused of murder right here, and then Kazar right here. And it's the story of, like I said, it's the story of Galactus, and this is great art. Look at that. I have no idea how this works logistically. Is he standing on that building and standing down there? Are his fingers in the street? Because his fingers are both on the street and on the side of the building. This doesn't make sense to me, but it's cool nonetheless. How's this story end? Gotta remember. But he's a journalist, so it ends with him. Here's the part with Peter Parker. I call him as I see him, Phil. I always have, you know that. But, Mr. Jameson, says Peter Parker. Parker, what have you got for me? Pictures of Spider-Man fighting that looter character. You'll love them. They make old Spidey look terrible. And of course, Phil gives Peter a look that can kill. Mr. Sheldon? Fabulous. Perfect, says Jameson. And then Phil Sheldon to himself says, now there's unbiased journalism in action for you. If I were Spider-Man, I'd beat the stuffing out of that little weasel. Of course, not knowing that it's Peter Parker as Spider-Man. It's great. Nice little touches, little differences in perspective can really spice up a story. But anyways, this is a great comic book. Definitely recommend. This came out during a time when I wasn't reading comics, but this annotated is really great because what they give you at the back is they give you all these little tidbits. You know, you got it shows pages and panels and gives you little information on each one. The framed photo on Ben Urich's desk of a smiling Daredevil is a joke reference to his future close association with the hero, Ross says. So, you know, it gives you little hints of things here and there. Like, see this? This is a recreation of a panel from an old Spider-Man comic. And it gives you the details on the comic and what was happening in it. And this is really cool if you want to make comics or you just want to learn kind of like writing and things like that. This is pretty cool. It really gives you the 411 on this. But this isn't just what you get. You get these nice, you know, alternate covers, and you get these pencil art by Alex Ross. I really enjoy the, where is it? The Hobgoblin, right here. That is a dope Hobgoblin. Alex Ross needs to do a Spider-Man story involving the Hobgoblin. It's probably one of my favorite villains. Should do a whole bunch of videos on the Hobgoblin. You also get the script. So I've always been interested in making comics, and I got back into comics a few years ago, and since then I've been researching, you know, how to write a script for comics, and I have no idea how, because there's no set format to how a comic book script is supposed to look. Some go by page and by panel, some just describe what's on the page. So this is really cool to see the different way, the way in which this comic book was written. It's very informative. If you can find this, definitely go out and get it. I don't see this at a lot of places. Like, I think it's selling pretty well. Oh, it's bent at the bottom. I hate it when my nice comics get unnice. But this is great. If you can, go check it out. It's really dope. And that's it. That's all I got to say about that. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you would like. I have another channel. At the moment, it's called The Real Fuzzy Pickles, where I talk about video games, but that's likely going to change in the future. And yeah. So please subscribe, hit the like button, share with your friends, and buy this book. This is the type of thing that needs to be made more of. Anyway, adios.